In this LINQ training video, we're going to take a look at how we create connections between nodes in the platform. The prerequisite for this training session is that you understand the LINQ language. So perhaps look at the YouTube video and make sure that you understand the way that LINQ models the organization and how the nodes connect with each other from a relationship perspective. So adding nodes is super simple. The first way we can do it is go to the palette in the top right hand corner and quite simply click and drag a node into the canvas. So I can take an information node, I can drag an action node, and then I can join them together by clicking and dragging the edge from one node to the other, and you'll see that they connect. So I could drag another information node off the palette, drag an edge from my action to my information node, and they'll connect together. So just have a go at taking nodes from the palette, dragging them into the canvas, and then connecting them. Remembering that the language has to be adhered to, so you won't be able to connect a person node to an information node, for example, but you can drop it onto an action node, and this action has now become manual, whereas previously it was automated by the system. This is a really simple way of being able to build your model up, but obviously requires quite a bit of dragging and dropping. So the next way that we're able to create our connections in the platform is to drag our start node into the canvas, but then drag an edge from it and click in white space. You'll see there's a little plus next to my cursor, and if I click, I get the next node in the sequence. So as I drag out of the information node and I click, I'm going to get an action node. This makes it really fast to be able to create chains of action and information like this. Another way we've simplified the creation of our models is to be able to reuse content that we already have within the sketch. So as an example, if I have a system and I've labeled it as Excel, and I have a person and I've labeled them as Sarah, I can obviously attach them into the sketch. So they exist as floating nodes. I can take Sarah and attach her to this action. I can take Excel and attach it to Sarah. But now I can begin to reuse these nodes. So if this was a spreadsheet as an information input, I can just drag from the existing system and attach it to the information node, and I get a duplication of the node. So this is how we can create assets, particularly around people and systems, and very quickly reuse them in the sketch. So if I was to drag an edge here and create a new action, and Sarah performed this, I can drag my edge from Sarah, connect it to the action, and now I have a copy of Sarah. If I've completed all of the properties about Sarah, these would go with this copy of the node. So in this way, we can be really fast in creating sketches where we're reusing assets that already exist inside our sketch. Another way of being able to take this content and reuse it is through copy and paste. So when I have selected a node or nodes, I'm able to just use the keyboard shortcut Control-C, or in our toolbar, we've got a copy button. And once you have copied your selected nodes, I can just do Control-V, and you'll see they've been pasted. And then I'm able to use these within my sketch. Another way of using the paste is to right-click in the canvas and click Paste, and the nodes will be pasted where you have clicked in the sketch, rather than next to the nodes that you've copied from. And again, you can use the toolbar to do copy and paste. At this point, it's worth noting that we have Control-Z as a keyboard shortcut. So if I add things and I didn't mean to do it, I can do a Control-Z and undo the paste. That Control-Z actually works for any action that you've performed in the canvas up to the point that you hit save. So I could keep undoing, and you can see all of my previous actions will be undone. There's an undo and a redo button in the toolbar, so I can redo that work if I mistakenly undid it. As you hover over the toolbar, you'll see we do provide pop-ups, so you can see Control-Z for undo, Control-Y for redo. As I add nodes into my sketch, you'll notice that the one that has appeared, the new node, has a blue halo around it, so it's selected. You'll also see in the palette, we have subtypes of nodes: action, capture, process, outcome, organization. Something happens here as an example. So when I've created my new node in the canvas, if I use my mouse wheel, the node will automatically scroll between these different subtypes. So this makes it very fast to be able to drag, click a node, and change its subtype based on the content that you're creating. So without having to do lots of dragging, I'm able to very quickly get my sketch looking as I require it. I might get to the point where I've built my initial model and I've missed a step. And so there is a way to very quickly be able to insert an information and action node pair into my process flow that I'm modeling. So there are a couple of ways of doing this. The first is to drag an information or an action node out of the palette and hover it over the link between the two nodes. You'll see just underneath my information node, the edge is changing color. Once that color is highlighted and I let go, you'll see an information and action pair is inserted into the sketch. It might be easier for us to do it again over here. I can take my information node, you can see the edge is highlighted, and as I drop it, that information pair is inserted into the sketch. This makes it really easy to add elements that I might have missed in my initial capture. You can also do this just by highlighting an edge and double clicking. So I double click with my mouse and an action and information pair is inserted into the flow. So that's a super simple way of being able to potentially think about level of detail as you're capturing, start with a high level of detail, and then be able to insert nodes to describe processes as you require with your modeling. So in summary, we can drag a node from the palette and we can connect them together as long as they form the sequence for a LINQ sketch. So information, action, information. We can drag from a node the edge and we can click into white space in order to create the next node in the sequence. We can double click an edge in order to insert an information action pair into the flow. We can drag an edge from an existing node and we can drop it against our model in order to reuse it. This is particularly useful for people and systems. We're able to select a node or nodes and use Control-C, Control-V on the keyboard to copy and paste, or we can do this from our toolbar. Once we've created a node and it's highlighted in blue, we can use the mouse wheel to scroll through the different subtypes. Those are the main ways of being able to capture our content in our sketch. So go and have a play. Work out which of those methods suits your style. Perhaps think about a process that you undertake regularly and just have a go at modeling it. Just focus on which content is required to enable you to do the work, what's produced as a result of doing the work, which tools do you use to do the work. As you think about that, you'll be able to translate that content into these 4 node types, and using those capabilities we've described today in this video, you'll very quickly be able to build your LINQ model. Thanks for watching.